You ever have that crazy uncle that just has no filter?
I think that Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other. I'm just telling you, I think I'm very close to the truth here.
God bless Bret the Hitman Hart. And look, this is just his way. Ever since he had the stroke, his filter's broken. You can't blame him for that. That's just how his head is wired now. He doesn't have the filter that stops words and thoughts that are in his brain from coming out of his mouth. You can call him old and curmudgeon and bitter and grumpy, and I don't even give a fuck what you say. To me, this is awesome. This is the Hitman, one of the greatest of all time, one of my childhood favorites, still to this day. Out there just speaking his goddamn mind. How can you hate that? And all these YouTubers are posting about, Bret Hart's unhinged, and then they go on to do a half-hour video about how they agree with almost everything that he says, right? And then you see Cultaholic talking about how he just blah, 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 and Sheamus, and whatever. Bret Hart's just talking here. We're just talking here. That's all he's doing. He was a little hard on Sheamus when he had this to say about Sheamus's punches.
Wrestling today is, I see guys throwing punches and they open their hand at the last second and slap the guy and then close it by the time they pull back. Who's that Irish guy, Sheamus? Does those all the time. And whenever I see him, I'm like, why don't you take 10 minutes and go down and have someone teach you how to throw a punch instead of throwing that embarrassment of a punch.
Again, no filter. Bret wasn't trying to throw shade at Sheamus. He's not trying to take shots at the guy or take him down a peg. He's just simply pointing out his observation that Sheamus's working punches look like shit. Now, I'm not a wrestler, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what a working punch should look like. But Bret Hart is the excellence of execution. So if he says Sheamus's punches look like shit, I'm going to trust him. And trust was a big thing for Bret Hart in this interview, something he kept going back to. One of the things was something he was just outright giddy about as he gleefully explained how Stone Cold Steve Austin trusted Bret to get him with the gig on the forehead, get a little color in the WrestleMania 13 match. You've heard this story before, but it's the childlike excitement that Bret has when he's telling this story about how he chopped up a razor blade and insisted on sticking it in another guy's forehead. Only in the wrestling business.
I always loved the match for so many things. Even the blood, just to be frank and honest, nobody would be probably talking about that match today if it wasn't blood in it. The blood was what made the difference. And I remember when I said to Steve, I said, what would really make this match, would tip it over make it an unbelievable match would be if there was a little blood in there. And I asked him if he'd ever done it before. And Steve told me, which I think is a different answer now, but he told me that day that he goes, I've never done it before, but I'll sure as hell try. And I stopped him right there. I said, Steve, you can't practice at WrestleMania. I'm telling you, don't even think that you can do it at WrestleMania. Don't let me do it. And I told him, I remember because I used to carry the little razor blade. You cut a razor blade into pieces, and then you take a little piece of it and you tape it up, and so it's just a point on it. And I used that and I stuck it in my mouth here. It was all taped up except for the point. It's not like it's gonna cut my mouth open really bad, but Steve had me in a rear chin lock in the middle of the ring, and I told myself I'll ask him. When I finally asked, I said, are you ready? Are we doing it or not? And he goes, all right, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. Finally he gives me, because I told him, I said, if you want to back out, if you get cold feet and you decide halfway through the match, just tell me. Say, I don't want to do it, and we won't do it. We'll go do everything else but the blood. And I gave him, because it was the kind of thing for Steve at that time. He was on the rise to become the big star in the company and all that, and he could tell. But at the same time, he didn't want to screw up anywhere and where they end up being mad at him for something, or So it was a touch and go kind of thing. I'm like, I spit the little blade out and I got it in my hand, and Steve jumps out on the floor and he goes to pick me up, and I said, he's going to run me into the fence or the railing, and I'm going to reverse him. And as he's picking me up, he goes, maybe we better not. And I remember, if you ever watch it, it's kind of funny. It makes me laugh when I watch it back. It's like he's throwing me into the railing, and I'm reversing, and I'm like yelling in his ear, it's too late. And I remember he threw into the railing, and I grabbed him in a rear chin lock in front of the entire, like we are here. Everybody in the building could watch. It was openly done right in front of everybody, but nobody saw it. And I did it in about 2 seconds, and that was the key to everything. That was beautiful. Beautiful match. That's why I don't have any problem saying that was the greatest match of all time, although that's impossible to anyone to say, but.
Yeah, I don't know about keeping the gig in your mouth, up in your lip or in your cheek or something. That shit's way too dangerous for me, man. I'd just go straight wrist tape or something. It's not even that you would cut your gums up, which is already a risk just because it's in there poking around, but you're taking bumps and stuff. What if you hit the mat and you accidentally swallow the damn thing? Or what if it pops out into your mouth and then you inhale it or something into your lungs? It's so tiny and little. This is highly dangerous, something I would never ever do. But I tell you, I would trust the Hitman with my life to do that job, and the Hitman did that job indeed. That is the most iconic image in professional wrestling history. I dare say, find me a more iconic still image. Maybe Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant? Maybe. I mean, there's been many iconic moments, but name me a more iconic still image than this. This was on a t-shirt, man. Of course, Bret didn't stop there. He had to go in and take his shots at people like Goldberg, and then also, of course, Hulk Hogan and Jake the Snake Roberts.
And I've always heard from different guys that Brock Lesnar's a professional. He's really good. He's not like Goldberg. I'm just saying, Roddy knew how to make a hero, and I was trying to, in those days, trying to climb up to the next level. And Roddy was really the first guy to reach down and pull someone like me up to the next level and pass that torch. In contrast to guys like Jake Roberts and Hulk Hogan, who never passed the torch to anybody. All they did is take and take and take and never ever help anybody. Two of the biggest pieces of shit in wrestling.
I guess NWO for life really didn't mean a whole lot to old Bret Hart, did it? I mean, look, no filter, right? He's just speaking his truth. And this is how he saw it. And I know, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, brother. And, all respect and all of that. But I mean, Hulk really didn't help a lot of people. He helped a lot more than people give him credit for. But it was his friends and his inner circle and the people he was close to. He didn't help guys like a Bret Hart. In fact, he actively held guys like a Bret Hart down. The infamous WrestleMania 9. Why didn't we get Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan there? Why didn't we get something to have those two eras meet in a passing of a torch of some kind? It just never happened. It never happened. But that's what we like about Bret. Bret just says what's on his mind, and oh boy, we have the coup de grace here, as you saw in the clip in the beginning. He accuses Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon of having sexual relations with each other. I wonder if the Brock Lesnar dildo was involved back then, maybe under a different name. Maybe it was the Andre dildo.
And the thing is that Shawn came back, and I remember Vince crying. Like when Shawn was in the ring talking about, he lost some part of himself, or he was gonna go find his smile. I remember Vince had the tear roll down his cheek, and I remember watching it and going, I think there's more going on here between these two guys. Honestly, and I'm not trying to be, I'm just being honest and blunt, but I don't know, I suspected, and now I really have serious, I think that Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other. Honestly, I'm just telling you, I think I'm very close to the truth here. Shawn and Vince were lovers, and that's why I'm being dead honest, and I'm telling you.
We all know what the H stands for.
When I look back, it's like, I got caught between two lovers. And I got shafted and screwed over, and Shawn was so envious and jealous of my position that he finally had to sleep with Vince to get it. And I tell you, I say all this with absolute, I would say it to Shawn if he was right here. I would actually like to have Shawn come clean and say, look, we were lovers. Because I'm sure they were. I have an absolute 100%. If I saw either Vince or Shawn here, I would say I think you guys were lovers.
Look, when a man loves another man, sometimes they get caught up in the heat of passion. And things get out of control, and screw jobs happen, and people get worked, and it's nasty business between two sexy male lovers. But that's between them. Look, Bret Hart is a national treasure. He is undoubtedly one of, if not the greatest of all time. And I see all these posts out there talking about how Bret's unhinged. He went on a crazy rant. He's saying ridiculous things. He's taking cheap shots at people. I have watched this video, and I am telling you that Bret is just Bret Hart. He's just no filter Bret. There's no beef against Sheamus. His punches just suck. It's okay. He doesn't still hate Shawn, but Shawn might have been gay for Vince McMahon. Who knows? These are just thoughts that Bret's having out loud that it just doesn't occur to him to say, maybe I shouldn't say that in public. Maybe it does occur to him, and he just doesn't give a fuck anymore at this point because he's old, he's rich, he's a legend, and he doesn't care anymore. I thought this was a hell of an interview. This was done by a fella, who's this guy's name? Johnny iPro show here. Fantastic interview that he did with Bret. I'm not sure who this guy is, where he came from, what his story is, but this was a nice little interview, and it wasn't that he was asking the right questions. I'm not trying to give props to Johnny iPro. He just platformed Bret. Just give Bret a microphone and let him just talk about himself. A lot of these stories you've heard already, and a lot of them are brand new, and it's all great. I skimmed the top. There's a lot left on the plate. Highly recommend you go check out this interview. And look, let me know in the comments. You tell me. Is Bret unhinged? Is he a crazy person? Is he just bitter and taking shots at everybody because he's mad at the business? Or is this just crazy old Uncle Bret sitting at the family reunion in the corner just talking about how Betty used to be a slut back in the day because she'd always go out behind the football field with the polo team or something? I don't know. It's just his way, man. Let him be. He's earned the right. He's earned the goddamn right. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comment. Hit the thumbs up while you're there. It tells YouTube that I don't suck, and that's a good thing. Also, hit subscribe if you want to see more from me. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we will catch you in the next video.
Ooh,
yeah, thanks for checking out the video. You can check out more great clips by hitting that subscribe button below. Yeah. While you're there, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Ooh, yeah. Did it.